couple of humidifiers here. Apparently one has a red service light on it, which is right here. Red service light lit solid. And they say the other one's not on. Over here. This one's not on at all, so let's see what's going on. Well, there it goes. Huh. Well, I'm going to do a drain on this one, and we'll do a drain on this one, and we'll see what's going on. So when the light's illuminated red like this one was, that means that it has reached maximum canister life, and they want you to replace the canister. So I'm not sure why this one wasn't on, but we'll have to figure that out. So okay, I am going to let these drain down, and I'm going to go grab a sodium solution, because in this area we have really hard water, and so these steam humidifiers work off of conductivity, and they don't typically like the conductivity of the local water. So I will go grab and make a sodium solution, and we're probably for sure going to replace that canister, and we'll see what this one looks like. So all right, go grab some steam canisters and mix up a sodium solution. All right, got our sodium solution, a couple of humidifier pads, and we're ready to rock and roll. This thing opened up. This was installed 11/29 of 23. Today is March 22nd, 2024. So now that these things have drained, which was a 4-minute process, I went and made my sodium solution while they were draining. Now we want to do a power, like a hard reset. So I'm going to open this up. Well, let's see where the power comes from. Anyway, I'm going to shut the power down for a minimum of 2 minutes. And then when I do a reboot, turn it back on, that will basically reboot the logic in here on this control board. They want you to do that so that when you basically start from scratch now with the logic, so it's not looking at all the old, you know, what the conductivity and all the amperage ratings were prior to this reboot. It's just going to start fresh. Just going to pull this wire off. That will do a reboot, as well as finding the power and disconnecting it. I could do it either way. I get in the habit of just pulling this wire off because unfortunately there's so many of these units that don't have disconnects anywhere near the unit itself. Just trying to position this where it won't touch metal anywhere. I'm gonna trace that out. I could have just done it right here just as easy, but it's done. So we'll pull this out. Took my 2 electrode wires off. This yellow one is a high water sensor, and this yellow one's what actually, the water got so high it hit this sensor and then runs for so much longer of a period of time. I don't know what that exact time is, but basically once it feels so full, it says, hey, I've depleted my canister life, give me a new canister. And that's what turned the red service light on. That heavy. There is a cake up of sediment all the way up the cell inside here, so it did need it is caked up, but it's not like terribly caked up, but nonetheless There is sediment in there, so I'm going to replace it and do a sodium treatment. Right, my amp draw there when I after it's ran for about 20 minutes or so. Oh, almost forgot to change my O-ring. This is an O-ring that comes in the bottom of these right there. I'm going to replace that with it. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a lot of hard water sediment in the bottom of this. So I'm actually gonna mush that up so that it doesn't, see now it's like a milky water. I'm mushing that up so that it doesn't clog the drain. I'm actually gonna drain all that down out of there. So let's hook it back up. Okay, I'm going to hit the drain cycle again. It's going to overflow at first. It'll overflow, then it actually runs down around the ring here. Then it's going to energize the drain valve. There it goes. Now it's draining. It's kind of draining slow. Not draining real fast. I'm going to plug this, and sometimes when it comes rushing down it helps clean it out. So I'm plugging this yellow tube, that's where the water's coming from. When I let loose, it's going to come ripping out of there. See, now it's draining faster. So you do that a couple times and it kind of frees up the drain because it rushes a bunch of water down into it. I'm going to try plugging the top. I've never done that before, but I'm going to. There, it's rushing down. That'll clean it out. See, now my drain's really, my water level's really low, so that's how I clean out the drain mechanism in these. You can vacuum it out the sediment, but I was able to break it up to this fine dust, so not the end of the world. I'm gonna let it come down, like rush over again and kind of clean out this drain pan. So I'll do this a couple times. Okay, we'll get this O-ring out. I had a little metal hook, like a dental pick, that I was carrying on me for a while, but I've misplaced it somewhere. Worked better than this knife, but the knife works. I'm gonna replace this O-ring with the new orange one. To get this wet before I put it in, dip it down in the water, just like so. Voila, that's all there is to it. Okay, put that down there. Okay, put my electrode wires back up. It says to replace these wires every 3 seasons, or if they're loose fitting, and these are nice and tight, so not sloppy by any means. So I mixed 1 tablespoon of salt to 1 cup of water here. roughly. I don't get crazy with it. And then you're supposed to put a 1/4 cup at a time into here. And what happens is the fill valve is right here. It just pushes water up into this, down the yellow tube into the canister. So now we're gonna get a little sodium mixed with our water. And in this area, the humidifiers really like that. So I'm gonna just start with that. See what my amp draw is. My dip switch is on the on position right there. That one dip switch being on means it can run up to 16 amps. So, okay. Now we'll turn it back on. Let it do its thing. Okay. Just curious what it's pulling right off the bat. With sodium. We need to get up there better than that with sodium. It just can't be right. I'm already going to add more sodium. That's a really low number. .7, we gotta do better than that. Typically it'll go, when I do a sodium treatment, even just a little bit, usually around 1/3 to 1/2 cup, it will spike up to 16 amps or more. Then it'll keep draining, filling, draining, filling. It's trying to find where it wants to be. See, already, now I'm up to 8 something after adding a little more sodium. We were 1.7. So that's progress. Probably gonna add a little more. I mean, this thing usually spikes higher than that. Maybe I'm not putting as much in as I think I am. Let's go with that. I expect to see 14 now. Maybe. Somewheres in theirs. 15. I'll leave that. Now, see, now it's gonna go over 16 probably. And then drain. But my dip switch is on 16 amps, so I want to try to get up there as close to that as I can right now during these tests. So see, now I hit 17. Here in a minute my drain light will come on, or my fill light. It'll kind of go back and forth. 18. I might have jumped the gun a little bit, but it'll keep filling and draining and kind of equaling out, bringing in more water to mix with that sodium solution that I put in it. So see, there's my drain. It's going to drain it out. You know they got too much sodium water. Here in a minute it'll fill. It might drain a couple times before it fills, but that's what it does. So we'll leave that one for now, and we'll move over to so we'll check this one. It's done draining. This is the one that was turned off originally. This one also was installed on 11/29. See if it ever got used, because it was off. You can hear that one over there draining, filling, draining. So I might have jumped the gun a little bit on adding so much more sodium solution to it. Should have waited a little longer, I guess. This one's tight. This one actually looks worse than the other one. I have no idea why they why this unit was off. So that one's the same date, 11/29/23, and it's heavier and got more sediment in it than the other one, so it must have got turned off recently. Definitely was being ran. Clean out this drain. Flush a bunch of that out before that drain comes on. So that one drains down better than the other one, faster anyway than the other one did. Brushes of water. Here it comes. Just like that. Okay, we'll shut it off. Okay, that's all I really got to do for my 5-minute reboot. Well, I say 5, you only got to do a 2-minute. But I like to do 5 minutes typically. Get it wet. Boop. Boom, bam. Forgive me, my nose is a wee bit runny. I sniffle a lot. Electrode wires are good and snug. High water sensor wire, it's good to go. Okay, let's go check this other one. See where we're sitting now. One thing I noticed when you put the sodium in, your steam hose gets hot like fast. Like it makes things happen with sodium. Right there at 14.5, it's a good number. When I got dip switch at number 1 in the on position. If it's in the off position, it means it can run up to 11.5 amps. So you don't get as much capacity that way. It's pretty dry up here where we're at, about 6,000 feet above sea level in the high desert area in Idaho. Okay, 14 something, so we'll let that run for a while. We'll go back to the other one, give this a couple more minutes, and then we will see what this one's gonna produce. Whenever the hoses are really tight like this, going into the ductwork, it's about all you can do to keep these dang rubber seals in. Like seriously, they don't want to play nice at all usually. I'm not going to worry about getting the whole thing, but I am going to worry about keeping it off that sharp piece of metal right there where the stress point is. I don't think I'm going to get the whole thing in there anyway with the hose in it. Maybe. I don't think so. That's good enough for me. ain't that OCDs. Okay. Dump our sodium in. I'm gonna go right there. That's about how much I usually do. Or sometimes a little less. So turn it back on. All right. There it goes. 0.5, 1, 1.5. Okay, so we'll let this one run for a little bit, let it go up, and we'll check on it in like 5 minutes. Okay, it's actually been about 3 minutes, and we're up to 7.2. I was gonna wait 5 minutes, but I just remembered I didn't check to see what dip switch number that one is on. Probably on. Dip switch one's probably in the 1 position, which, or excuse me, the on position, which makes it 16 amps. Off position is 11.5. Yep. Dip switch number 1 right there is in the on position. So I'd expect to see it around that 14, 15 mark, at least 13. Hit 10, so I'm gonna let it go. It's slowly climbing. See, this one's not filling and draining as much as the other one, because I didn't over sodium it. I'll give it a couple minutes. That one's right at 13. See, it's starting to go down. 12. I'm gonna give this one a little bump of sodium. Yeah, a little big bump. A little big bump. Kind of in between, sort of, somewhat, something like. Okay. And as soon as this fill valve opens and lets a little more water in, you're going to see this one jump up from 12 something, 12.7 to probably 16 something. It's probably already going down a little more. 15, slowly ramping down. Okay guys, I'm going to give these 20 minutes each, and in 20 minutes we're going to come back up here. We're going to test them both again and see what we get, and I'm going to call it at that. Whatever the number is, I'm writing it on the canister, and that's it. It's been 20 minutes. Check our amp draws. It's right around 11.3, 11.2. Oh, it's gonna fill. Every time it fills, it seems like they go up. Creeping up. Call it 13 on that one. It's gonna go down a little. .0. This one is steaming like crazy. It's been filling a lot. Going through a lot of fill cycles. This one. $11.8, $11.9. We'll call this one 12. It's going to fill with water. It's going to go up to 13, whatever, come back down. We'll call this one 12 amps. 12.0. All right, that's it. 13 on one, 12 on the other. I'm good with that. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something about humidifiers. If there's something you can teach me, leave it in the comments. I'm always happy to get, you know, constructive feedback from y'all. That's pretty much what I know about these things in a nutshell. And always look forward to learning if I can, or answering any questions if I can. So either way is good for me. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you liked it, and see you on the next one. Peace.